The wait is over. The UPPAbaby Mesa V3 is here in Canada. Today we're gonna go top to bottom and figure out how it stacks up against the old one and all the other car seats. Stick around. One of the great things about UPPAbaby is their specs are some of the most accurate in the business. Starting with the infant car seat is 25.8 inches long, 23 inches high, and 17 inches wide. The official weight is 9.9. However, with the infant insert and the canopy, our weight is 10.7 pounds. The base dimensions are 20.8 inches long, 9.8 inches high, and 14.5 inches wide. However, the height can vary depending on the install. The base itself comes in weighing at 8.95 pounds, so just about 9 pounds. The fit for the child will handle from 4 all the way to 35 pounds with a maximum height of 32 inches. UPPAbaby boasts an industry-leading lifetime warranty on their infant seat. Just made sure it's registered with UPPAbaby.ca. Secondary, the seat has one of the longest expiry dates at 7 years from date of manufacturer. The Mesa V3 will come in at a cost of $579.99 Canadian, placing it in the middle of the range for premium infant car seats, which means it's great value for money. Now, luckily, the Mesa V3 shares all the compatibility with the V2, which means it will work on all of your upper range strollers, as well as the following strollers with an adapter: Bob Revolution Flex 3.0, Mountain Buggy Nano V3, Thule Urban Glide 3 and 4, ValcoBaby Trend Duo and Ultra Trend, as well as the Veer Switchback and the entire cruiser range with an adapter. So let's test how the Mesa V3 installs in a car. If you're looking for a full install video, we actually have a separate video that you can click in the link above or down in the description to watch the entire review of how we do the install. So we're gonna talk through it really quick. The Mesa V3 has two different install methods. One is utilizing the belt, and two is utilizing their self-ratcheting UAS latch install. For the belt system, you are going to unlock the center latching component, run your belt over the middle, underneath the belt path on the sides, click into the opposing buckle, pull tight, and lock in the blue lock mechanism. You will know it's installed correctly when you see a green rather than red indicator. For the UAS latch install, simply press the orange indicators at the top, pulling on the orange tab at the side to pull out your UAS self-ratcheting latch. You will then connect it to the back of your car's seat and do the exact same process on the opposing side. To ensure a nice tight fit, place your hands on either side of the base, pressing down. When you see the indicator go from red to green, you know you have a nice tight fit. You can always check this by moving the car seat side to side at the point of contact with your car's seat to ensure you have installed it correctly. Last step is to place your car seat back on the base, moving the handle all the way forward to act as the Mesa V3's anti-rebound bar. Okay, so the question is, what would I rank this install out of 10? In my testing, each time I tried to install it, the very first time I was able to get a perfect tight fit. I didn't really find any complexity, and I find the self-ratcheting system to actually be quite intuitive. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing that would make it a 10 is if it was rigid latch and a little bit faster. Next thing we gotta do, start at the top, work all the way down and cover every single feature related to this car seat. The handle on the V3 is a sleek plastic handle meant to not distract from the overall design, but integrate seamlessly with the design. With its unique button on the top that allows it to easily pop off with one hand from UPPAbaby strollers, and its 4 positions set to make sure you have 1, an anti-rebound bar fully forward facing, and 2 additional positions to keep it out of the way while you're trying to load in your little. The design gives you a simple but functional handle to make the Mesa V3 easy to use every day. One other thing to note is the angle that the handle sits at. While this allows it to function as an anti-rebound bar, it also means that the weight is distributed a little bit more evenly, so you get less rock while you're holding it, and it's a little simpler on your shoulders and your arms. So, if I was to rank this handle out of 10, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's got a great design, it's easy to hold without preventing or creating a lot of rocking, and the button on the top is helpful for removing the car seat from your stroller. However, it's missing a couple aesthetic details, and I wish there was something for grip rather than just pure plastic across the handle, but otherwise, pretty good handle, 8 out of 10. The canopy is one of the biggest areas of improvement on the V3 versus the V2. First thing to note is the open and close of this canopy is incredibly smooth. Audio-wise, it comes in at about 18 decibels. However, in real-world testing, it feels smoother and a little bit quieter than that. Next, the coverage is dramatically expanded. Based on the coverage in our testing, we saw 74% coverage, with the sunshade giving it an almost complete and total closeout. One area where we saw this canopy, I would say, fall a little bit behind was in our light test. You could see more light showing through than in some other tests we've done. We will test this again later on a black canopy to see if that holds up, but there was more light leaking through with this canopy. The last is our water test. This one, I will be honest, shocked us the most. You can see us pouring the water over here with a little bit of pensiveness in our eyes. However, this is one of our best performing canopies from a water perspective. You can see the towel is completely dry and most of the seat is dry. This color is obviously going to show water more than other colors, but that was a phenomenal showing when it comes to waterproofing. I would feel very confident in heavy rain with this car seat. So what would I rank this canopy out of 10? I personally would give this a 9 out of 10. You have great coverage, sunshade, peekaboo window, really light, quiet material that's easy to open and close. The only place it really fell apart was on the light test. So 9 out of 10. Talking about things we'd love to see improved, did you know that 94% of you aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel? So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, maybe, liking, commenting, hitting the notification bell, lets you know when we've done new videos, that would really help ensure that we can continue to bring the best information possible for you to make the best decision for your family. Let's talk about the buckles, harness, and headrest. To start, the actual tether to tighten your harness has this little innovative feature where there's a button on the bottom to be able to store it away, so that way it doesn't fall either in between the seat and get stuck, or your little one's not grasping at it as they get a little bit older. The button to release is hidden underneath a nice piece of fabric, making it inaccessible for your little, but easy access for you. The buckle system is a 5-point harness with a crotch strap that has 2 different positions for you to find the perfect position for your little one. The buckles themselves are plastic with a chest clip and a main crotch buckle that has a red button for release. On the harness, you have 2 shoulder straps that are easily removable by simply unclipping 2 buttons. One lovely feature about the Mesa V3 is the no rethread harness. Simply pull on the gray tab at the top and you can adjust to find your little's perfect height and fit. The headrest has integrated within it side impact protection so that you know in every single position your little one is perfectly situated to be safe in the event of an accident. Last thing I want to call out are these new magnetic buckle clips. So if you're trying to get your little one in the winter, maybe you need to remove a jacket or some extra layers of clothes, simply put the buckles on the outside until you're ready to tighten up your little one. So what would I rank this out of 10? To be honest with you, I don't really have any complaints. I would give this seat a 9 out of 10. You have that really innovative little feature with the buckle at the bottom. You also have a really easy to use no rethread harness. Nothing to complain about. The V3 has the same flame retardant free fabrics that we've come to love from UPPAbaby. When looking inside the seat, first thing you'll notice is there's 2 different types of fabrics. One, which is in the base of the seat, which is a soft to the touch, almost memory foam-like feel. The headrest, the buckles, and the crotch strap all have a more perforated, breathable, temperature regulating fabric. It's the same sort of feel, just going to be a little bit different in those sections. The infant insert is a wonderful piece, dense foam, that can be removed after your little one is 11 pounds. So from 4 to 11 pounds, you'll keep that in there. After removing the insert, we ran a couple tests. First is our microfiber test, where we rub across the surface to see if there's any catches or if it can glide across the fabric free, clean, and easily. The base fabric, no problems, perfect glide, almost no resistance. In the perforated section, a little bit of resistance, so not quite as smooth or comfortable to the touch, but still overall a great hand feel. Next, the crumb test. I have to say, this seat took the crumbs incredibly well. You can see that I try to really rub them in there, but the vacuum time was probably less than 30 seconds to get everything absolutely cleaned up, so it performed extremely well under our crumb test. One thing I was really impressed by is how fast this seat dried after we did our water test. While very little actually leaked through the canopy, there was some that ended up on the infant insert in the bottom, and within about 10 minutes it was dry. So performed really well from a drying perspective. As far as washing and care instructions go, this is a machine wash, lay flat, dry. If I had to rank this fabric out of 10, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Dried really quickly, soft to the touch, easy to vacuum and clean off. It's removable, you can machine wash. I wish you could dry it, but you can lay flat dry. And given how quick it dries, that may not even be a concern. So 9 out of 10. When installed in the base, the V3 has 1 recline position, which is pretty standard for the industry. However, if you remove the car seat, the base does offer 3 separate recline positions to find the right fit for your vehicle. So how would I rank the recline? I'd give it a 7.5. You have 3 different recline positions within the actual base, 1 in the seat. Good. The Mesa has what I would describe as a pretty straightforward functional base. You have clear indicators describing how to install and giving you all the instructions with a QR code for future videos. You have a soft latch install that has a self-ratcheting system that's intuitive, straightforward to use. You have a belt path that is also really easy to understand whether you've installed it correctly. The actual mechanism for showing whether the seat is installed correctly is obvious and clear on the top. And other than that, there's just not that much to it. It's missing a anti-rebound bar on the base, and the base has no load leg, but otherwise, all the information you need is clear, easily accessible in a light, compact package. Okay, so what would I score this base out of 10? To be honest with you, it's sort of a utilitarian base. So I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would score it higher if it had a load leg or even an anti-rebound panel built into the base, but light, relatively easy to install, clear indicators, nothing to complain about. Let's talk about a few pros and cons for this seat. Pros. It looks great. The UPPAbaby products always look lovely. Their fabrics are gorgeous. I mean, an extension of that is their fabrics are actually really practical, self-drying, flame retardant free, lovely to look at. Pros, the new canopy is a major win. You get way more coverage. You've got the sunshade included. So, well, plus the peekaboo window. So I would say it's a really big improvement. The other pro I would say is that it's pretty easy to install and you get a lot of great side impact protection. So overall, a great system that integrates with all the other UPPAbaby products seamlessly. Cons, I would love to see more in the base. I would love to see an anti-rebound panel, perhaps a load leg. That would really help. This leaves a little bit to be desired. I think there's a better way to do the handle, maybe even just something to allow for a little bit better grip across the handle itself. The last, which is once again on the base, I would love a rigid latch install. Their soft ratcheting system's pretty good, but rigid latch would be nicer. So let's talk about who this seat's for. First thing I would say, if you're an UPPAbaby lover and you love all things UPPAbaby, you are going to like this seat. It's an improvement on the V2. It extends into that same area where UPPAbaby looks gorgeous and creates these really comfortable and beautiful seats for you to use with your little. The other thing I would say is this will fit a little better in most vehicles than some of the bigger options. So it's a bit smaller in dimensions. So if you've got a mid-sized or smaller vehicle, you could probably get this in. And the last thing I would say that's nice about it is a little bit lighter. So it's not the lightest option on the market. There are lighter if you're a little bit slighter frame, but if you're worried about weight at all, you've got just a little bit more room to work with this seat. I'd also add that it so perfectly integrates with all of the UPPAbaby accessories that no matter where you live in the world, you've got an accessory to make this the perfect car seat. So if you've been following along at home, you'll notice we've been scoring each section as we've gone through this review. The real question is, where did this car seat end up? Well, if you take all of the scores and you average them out, you end up with a score of 8.5 out of 10, which is pretty great. There's a lot of things that are amazing about the seat, and I was probably a little bit harsh on either the handle or the base. So if you disagree with my assessment on either of those two sections, feel free to rescore it yourself at home. That's the great thing. You can disagree with the teacher and make the best decision for you and your family. But my score, 8.5 out of 10. Couple closing thoughts. This car seat is a wonderful evolution from the V2. The V2 is one of the most widely loved infant car seats, and I think this one improves on many of the things where I would say the V2 fell a little bit behind for me personally. So this is a wonderful evolution, and if you're interested in any of the UPPAbaby line, this is gonna be a perfect seat for you. Now, that said, if you want to see any other car seat, we've got multiple YouTube videos, especially in this series where we're having them go to head. We have Learning Center articles on our website, we have great demos on our social channels, and frankly, our store is an amazing place to come in and dry fit this, which is just to say to test it in your car. We want you to make the best decision for your family, so feel free to do your research, watch this video again, and make sure that this is the right option for you. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful day.